What's going on, Alestrians? My name's LUCK, aka Luck, and while we won't be going to the finals this ECL season, we are going to try and go out with a bang. Week 5 deck prep and profile coming right at you. Let's go. Alright, so our week 5 opponent is Werts, and you're going to notice I don't have the traditional layout that I usually do for these prep videos, and that's because Werts is kind of a wild card. He tends to play very kind of outside of the box thinking type of decks, so I could kind of see him running kind of anything. We're just going to kind of go over the big threats in Earth, which, I mean, there really isn't a bad card in Earth. I would honestly say probably the worst card is, say, Timber. And, I mean, if that's your worst card, you know, you're doing pretty well. It's sort of an embarrassment of riches, honestly, with Earth. It just kind of does a little bit of everything. But yeah, we'll go over it. Viscerus, huge threat. Gets it on the field, kills an Celestial, he gets another one on board. Can ramp up pretty quickly. Gotta watch out for that. Rummagem. Best searcher in the format. Searches its own color. It used to be a lot better before it got nerfed. It used to have a lot bigger of a body. It used to be, I believe it was a 4/4. Even with the nerf, it's still really good. It's pretty much a staple in almost every Earth deck. Tectorus, same thing. Staple in most Earth decks. Just ramps up quickly. It's kind of the counterpart to my Volcaries. For each Earth spirit on the field, it just gains an attack. Really, really good. Can get out of control really quickly. If I don't stop it early, it can really ramp up to some pretty nutty attack power. Sprouter, a simple way to search his artifact on a pretty good body, 3/5. I don't have an Celestial that can get over it. If Sprouter's in defense, I really don't have an Celestial that can get over it. So definitely got to watch out for that. Equilinx gives him back row control. Equilinx is one of the best back row control cards in the format. Can Nexus cards around, can move cards to other cards that need them, and at the same time getting rid of back row, so we got to watch out for Equilinx. Giraflora, Underworld Recursion, same thing with Pandison. These two cards are Underworld Recursion. Giraflora gets you an Celestial back from the Underworld, and Pandison gets you a rune. Got to watch out for those. I could totally see him running, you know, one of these at least. Drataya, so the last few weeks he has run fruit-based decks, which are centered around Drataya and Latagon, and then using Ambrosia and Golden Apple at Discord. I could see him bringing it again. I just don't really have a great answer for it. Honestly, Earth just kind of counters everything that Fire does. In reality. But Drataya, once it's on board, you play Ambrosia, you draw 2 cards, it's a free Nog, plus you get 3 spirits back from Ambrosia. Latagon allows you to destroy cards on field when you cast, or when any player casts Ambrosia or Apple. So these 2 cards, these are going to kind of dissuade me from playing Ambrosia, and obviously I'm not bringing Apple, but these are going to dissuade me from playing Ambrosia, for sure. Titanostock, this card used to be absolutely broken. It's much more balanced now, and it's actually not a bad card. Expend 1 to force an opponent to reveal their hand. Really not that bad. You can kind of scout ahead and see what your opponent's kind of working with. Clovey, this is another one that's kind of on the weaker end for Earth, but again, I mean, if this is one of your weaker cards, you're still doing really well. Whenever it receives an Earth, you draw a card. That can be triggered off of Equilinx, Nexusing Earth around. Spinimp, again, 5 defense. It's got a middling kind of effect, but 5 defense, I can't get over it, so I don't see why he wouldn't run it, but we'll see. Scavengem has become kind of a sleeper hit in the past few weeks. Dan shouted it out on one of his videos, and a lot of the power comes from the fact that it doesn't just search Celestial cards. It can get you pretty much anything 2 or lower that costs Earth in your deck. It can get into your Earthquakes, it can get into your Forests, it can search your Scythe of Demeters. It's got a lot of value, so I could see him running it. Sakurasaur, expend 1 to draw 2 cards. It's a cheaper Nog. I mean, it's on an 8 body. Again, I mean, this is one of those cards where it's on the weaker side of the scale for Earth, but I mean, if this is one of your weakest cards, you're really not doing too bad. Say Timber, we kind of went over Say Timber before. It's just an easier way to get into Centaur. A lot of people don't really think that this is a great card, and it's not, because you have to attack with it. But again, I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't bring something like this. And Centaur's just a powerhouse. When its Foloi Forest is on the field, it can't be targeted by Invoke Runes, which is crazy busted for a card like this. And you can disenchant 1 off of him to pop any card on the field. We'll go over his runes real quick. Foloi Forest, Standard Stadium, +1 attack and defense. Earthquake. So he is the only player in the format, in this mono format tournament, that can target and destroy an Celestial with no other restrictions, right? And that's due to this card. This card, and I'm going to show you in a little bit why, you know, we have an answer for his Invoke Runes, which we are going to be playing. But Earthquake, great card. He is 100% bringing it. If you're running mono Earth, you absolutely run Earthquake. Scythe of Demeter, kind of the best artifact in set 1. +2 attack and +3 defense. Whenever your Celestial gets over an opponent's Celestial, you gain an Earth Spirit back from the Underworld, and if Demeter's on the field, you gain 2. And Demeter, kind of a similar situation to like Zeus, except for draining the attack and defense off of an opponent's Celestial. It buffs your own Celestial. So he's definitely going to be running that. He's probably going to be running all 4 of these. If I really had to make an educated guess as to what he's bringing, I'm going to say Viscerus, Rummagem, Tectaurus, Equilinx, maybe Drataya and Latagon. And maybe Scavengem. I would expect to see those kind of, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those 7 for sure, but I could see him running any combination of these because he does kind of wild stuff with his deck building. And yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if he drops a Spinnymph, or if, you know, all of a sudden he drops a Titanostock first game. So yeah, we're going to be ready for it. And we're just going to try and do our best this week. Like I said, we're out of the finals for this season, which is, I mean, it is what it is. I'm playing Fire. Fire is kind of rough in a mono format, but we're not gonna just lie down and let him run over us. We're gonna fight for it, and we're gonna hopefully give him a game. So I'm gonna switch over. I'll show you what deck I'm bringing, and yeah, I'll see you in a second. All right, so this week I'm bringing something very similar to the game that I had with Eagle a couple weeks ago. We're just going to kind of go super hyper aggressive and let our counter runes kind of do all the heavy lifting for us. So we got 3 Nekruff, 3 Kinleo, 3 Volcaries, pretty standard for mono fire. You want to bring 3 of each of these every single week. And 3 Warmite, just because, again, just like other weeks, I don't really have a better 1-drop that kind of works with this strategy. So we're running 3 Warmite. Leonite, so this is going to be the big one this week. Leonite stops Ambrosia if he's running Fruit. It stops Apple if he's running Fruit. It also stops Earthquake. So Leonite's going to be really good for us. My plan is to get Leonite on board and not attack with it. I just wanted to sit there and negate his counter runes, and then hopefully I can get some other stronger Elestrals on board and kind of attack underneath Leonite. So that's my plan this week. I don't know how well it's going to work. We shall see. Hephaestus, 2 Hephaestus. This is really just Nexus fuel for Kinleo. It can also search out Hammer. I do have 2 hammers in here. This is just in case I get into a sticky situation where I need to hit over something, kind of like in an emergency. 3 Eruption. This can hopefully win us the game. Late game, right? So Earth is really, really spirit hungry. If you notice most of Werts' games, he's down like below, say, like 8 spirit by like turn 2 or 3, right? So that's the reason why Scythe of Demeter is so good for Earth, is it can get you back those Earth spirits. So if we can get him down really, really low, and I have a few eruptions in hand, I can hopefully burn him and secure the win that way. Volcanic Forge, this is going to be important this week. Earth is really good next to Foloi Forest, right? Earth kind of just is really good with its runes. That's why it's kind of so spirit hungry. So Volcanic Forge is going to be really important for us, because if he drops Foloi Forest turn 1 and then a Tectorus on top of that, he's got a 5 attacker, right? So, and the only thing that can even come close to that is Necruff without, like a Volcari's boost. So we got to make sure that we get Volcanic Forge on board. Helios Chariot Ride. I'm only running 2. I really want to run 3 because it is my favorite card. But I needed room for Leonite, so I had to kind of sacrifice the slot. 3 Resting on Your Laurels. Again, this is just my answer for not having Earthquake. Hopefully it puts in some kind of work this week. 3 Ambrosia, standard. 3 Shield, 3 Gaze, 3 Poison Tip. Like I said, our plan is to go super aggro and then let our counter runes do kind of all the talking for us. But yeah, so that's the main deck right there. We'll take a peek at the sideboard I have. I have 3 Pandora's Box. So Pandora's Box is really good in this match because of Rummagem. Rummagem gets him any answer that he is looking for. If I have, say, a Necruff on board and he needs to get over it, he can grab Tectorus, right? If I have back row and he needs to get rid of him, he can grab Equilinx. So Pandora's Box, I have it in the sideboard. I really wanted to main deck it, but I kind of don't have the room for it. So if I get blown out game 1 and I notice that it is Rummagem that kind of allowed that play to happen, we will main board it. We'll figure out a spot. We'll scrap something here. Altar Star is just a great counter rune to have, especially if you're running stadiums. So I got 3 of in here. Here's my other Chariot and Volcanic Forge, right? If I notice that Leonite's not putting in the finest of work, we might sub him back out for these 2. And then two Nogs and 2 Leiths, just kind of there hanging out. If I'm not drawn into the stuff that I need, we might sub these in. We'll see. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm rocking with this week. Like I said, we're not going to take it laying down. We are going to go down with the, we're going to put up a fight this week for sure. The finals, it's kind of looking like it might be Werts versus Baron, but we will see. But yeah, we're not going to let him just steamroll us this week. We're going down swinging. So yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to catch the match on Saturday. Hey, stay enchanted, keep ascending. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.